When major macro or geopolitical news hits the markets, USD pairs are the markets that feel it first. Right now, we're seeing exactly that. A geopolitical shock tied to the United States and Greenland. And it's rippling through stocks, currencies, crypto, and risk sentiment globally. This isn't just a headline for the evening news. Traders around the world are pricing, in uncertainty, tariff risks, and what this could mean for growth. And when markets get hit with uncertainty, execution and platform reliability matter. That's something I always take seriously. That's also why I trade with PU Prime. When volatility hits, you want execution you can rely on, especially on USD pairs and correlated risk assets. So in this video, we're going to walk through 3 news developments tied to the Greenland circulation, how they are impacting markets right now, and what that means for traders like us. Let's get into it. First up, markets are reacting sharply to new tariff threats tied to the US push around Greenland. President Trump has escalated everything, including proposed tariffs, including several European countries, unless they sort of agree on Greenland. So traders don't like uncertainty like this. We've seen US stocks, slide sharply. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, they've all moved lower, and risk of sentiment is clearly spreading. That's because a tariff escalation like this isn't just about one part of the world. It affects global supply chains, the trade relationships and growth expectation. For forex traders, this kind of risk off move kind of gets reflected in major currency pairs and safe havens. It's exactly the kind of environment where you want a broker you can trust, where spreads are tight and where execution works properly even as volatility spikes. That's why when, it moves like this, that's why I rely on PU Prime, because I know the platform's infrastructure and the price feeds can handle these conditions much better than what you see on average retail platforms.
Our sponsor today is Lead Sniper, and they will help you find quality links even when you think you're in the darkest of places and you can't find any clients. Lead Sniper has been doing this for a long time, and they have worked with thousands of marketers, including myself. And the fact that they want to sponsor us today makes me very happy. If you need targeted data that actually converts, then Lead Sniper is for you. They have a Google Map scraper, they have a Google search scraper, and they have a yellow page scraper, with more tools coming out soon. So go ahead, get in the description, click the links that takes you over to Lead Sniper. Back to the video.
Secondly, the currency markets have been reacting to, in the early stages of this Greenland narrative, we actually saw the US dollar weaken as traders shifted into broader risk-off position and moved out of the dollar-denominated assets. At the same time, there's a growing view for major strategists, like at Barclays. They have longer geopolitical tied to this dispute. It could actually hit the euro harder than the dollar, simply because Europe's trade exposure is more directly affected. What does that mean for forex? Well, in the short term, you get currency swings, safe haven flows and rotation into, alternatives depending on how traders price geopolitical risk. If you reactively trade the Euro USD or GBP USD right now, or are considering hedging positions, this is exactly where execution, speed and access to deep liquidity are key, and where I use PU Prime because it gives me consistent access to those major pairs, with fair pricing even during big swings. Third, and maybe most relevant for crypto traders, this geopolitical shock has switched markets into risk-off mode, and you can see that playing out clearly in digital assets too. According to a recent analysis, cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, have led risk assets lower as concerns around the Greenland tariff threats spook sentiment. Bitcoin dipped as traders moved into safe havens like gold, and crypto correlations with global risk sentiment became very clear. This is exactly why I always watch macro headlines even when trading crypto. It's not just, tech or adoption music moves this market anymore. When geopolitical uncertainty hits, liquidity can dry up fast, and you need to be on a platform that lets you manage positions efficiently across both FX and crypto assets. PU Prime makes it easy to trade forex and crypto from the same account, so you don't have to juggle platforms when risk sentiment shifts, which it does quickly in situations like this. So, stepping back, what we're seeing right now is a classic example of how geopolitics can impact markets across the board, from stocks to forex to crypto, all in the span of days. This Greenland story has thrown markets into a risk-off mindset. It's triggered tariff fears and put pressure on currencies and risk assets alike. For traders like me, who focus on USD pairs and also trade crypto, these are the moments where your platform matters just as much as your analysis. That's why I choose PU Prime, because it's not just about access to markets, it's about execution. It's about liquidity and reliability in fast-moving conditions. When volatility kicks in, you want a broker that lets you trade confidently, not one that, slows down or widens spreads. If you want to trade what's actually moving the market, whether that's major currency pairs or reacting to geopolitical news or crypto shifting with risk sentiment, check out the link below for PU Prime. Thanks for watching. Trade smart and manage your risk. See you in the next one.